Hey everyone, it's Steve here from theemotionmachine.com, and today I wanted to talk about imagining yourself making a relationship work with a random person. So imagine that you had no choice on who you dated or who you married, but someone random was chosen for you, and you had to make that relationship work with them. You had to make it into a healthy, long term relationship where you got married and lived the rest of your life together. Could you do that? Could you make a relationship work if you were just randomly paired up with a person? I think this is a really interesting question to ask ourselves, especially in today's world where we have so much choice, especially with dating partners and dating apps on our phone. There's so much choice on who to start dating or who to have a relationship with or who to get married. And I think having so much choice, it kind of creates that psychological problem where we have the paradox of choice, where there are so many options available to us that we struggle to find what is the right choice for me. And then what happens also with the paradox of choice is that when we finally do make a decision, we actually start questioning ourselves because we wonder, we see someone else and we think, oh, maybe I'd have a better relationship with that person. I think this person's better looking or this person's more intelligent. And, we constantly doubt our decisions and we're always looking for something better rather than making our relationship that we do have actually work and actually putting in the effort to make that relationship the best it can be. But we're always looking at different options, and this whole culture can make it really hard to stay committed to a person and to be dedicated to a relationship to make it work, which I think can really backfire and lead to a lot of unhappiness because we're constantly doubting ourselves. There's an interesting book called Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. He's typically seen as an actor or comedian, but this book was actually a really great sociological work on how relationships are different in different cultures. And it was a really interesting read, really informative, as well as entertaining. But there was one particular part of the book that really stuck with me. And it's when Aziz is talking about his parents and how they got married. Being from India, his parents had an arranged marriage. And according to Aziz, when his dad was choosing a partner, he only had to see three different girls before he made his choice. The first girl he saw, he said was too tall. The second girl he saw, he said was too short. The third girl was a good height for him, and he ended up having a 10 to 15 minute conversation with her, and then he decided, okay, this is the girl for me, this is the girl I'm going to marry, and this is the girl I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And Aziz says that, his parents have one of the happiest marriages he's ever seen. And that just blows my mind that someone could put so little effort into choosing a partner, yet they can make that relationship work and actually turn it into a very happy long-term marriage. So I think that's a great example of how people can make a random relationship work. And it really has a lot to say about, I think there's a lot to learn from this in regards to our culture, because as we try to choose partners, we're always trying to find that huge spark, that huge passion that just takes over us and we fall in love with someone. And it's like we try to catch lightning in a bottle and just hold on to it. And then often that spark, that passion kind of fades a little bit, and people kind of grow apart or they grow tired of their relationship, and this is what leads to divorce and breakups. So it's interesting that, this relationship is sort of, the arranged marriage scenario is sort of the opposite of this. There's no spark, there's no initial passion. instead of trying to catch lightning in a bottle, it's more like actually tending a garden and growing a plant where you start off with pretty much nothing, but with time and work and dedication, something actually grows and blossoms over time. And I think that perspective on relationships is a lot more valuable and productive than the whole try to find that huge spark of passion and trying to catch lightning in a bottle. So I'm certainly not saying that people can't be incompatible or that there aren't bad people that you wouldn't want to have a relationship with. But I do think this difference in perspective can be really helpful, and understanding that relationships are things that have to grow over time, and that often that requires a long-term commitment. And sometimes those, not every moment in that relationship is going to be this huge, romantic spark of passion. That sometimes the real key to building relationships is about patience and about growing together. So I think that this is an interesting thing to ask yourself. If you had to make a relationship work with a random person, could you do it? Could you enter that mind frame where, this person isn't going to be perfect, right? No one's perfect, but you still have to make things work. You're going to have to make compromises. You're going to have to change yourself and adapt to the relationship to make it work. And I think that's something interesting to ask yourself. And if you could say yes to that, I think that puts you in a really powerful position where you can see yourself making a relationship work with anyone because you actually have the right mindset and the right long-term commitment, long-term dedication to make that relationship work, which is a huge contrast to our current culture of really trying to find a spark with someone and trying to keep that spark alive. I think that in that sort of relationship, the passion often dies over time, but in a long-term relationship, the passion actually grows over time because you're in it for the long haul, and you're motivated to make it work. You have to make it work. So I think that this is something interesting. That's all I really wanted to share with you guys. Imagine yourself, could you make a relationship work with a random person? It's an interesting question. So thanks for listening to me, and stay tuned for more videos. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a good one.